Good morning, class 9 students. Today we are again back with our online class. Our topic to discuss today in this online class is very important. I want you to pay full attention when we discuss this topic we have today. Uh, First and foremost, uh, this question is very important because it carries 10 to 15 marks in a question paper, and if you write this question very well, there is a possibility of obtaining better marks. Say you can even get 15 out of 15. So you have to be very careful when we sit to write this question, and hope you will understand what we are going to discuss in this online class. And let me tell you one thing, that whatever we are discussing in our online class, uh, it will again be not repeated when the school gets reopened, because we have lots of things to cover in the remaining months we will be with. Whatever online classes you are having now, uh, give full concentration to what you are getting, and prepare yourself accordingly. So now we come back to our topic. So today's very important topic in the paper is letter writing. Of course, letter writing is not a new thing for you, because in class it also you have written uh, this letter writing, and various questions you might have practiced. But to tell you, if your letter uh, is not in a proper format that is required by the council, then very low marks you'll get for it. That's why you have to stick to the format of writing a good letter. And how do you write good letter? This is what we are going to discuss in today's online class. So first and foremost, let me tell you letter writing. So what is it? You all know. A letter writing is a message. First of all, this is a message which is either handwritten or printed on a paper, and then what we do, we send to the recipient. Recipient is the receiver who is going to receive your letter via mail post, or we post it through post office in an envelope. This is what we call letter. And see, it is a written conversation between two parties. One writes, the other receives, then the other responses to the one who has written the letter. So this is how a letter writing is exchanged between the two parties. So this is what we call letter writing. So when we talk about letter writing, and ask generally ask how many kinds of letters are there, so people normally respond it is two kinds. But I say there are various kinds of letters, but in English grammar we practice two kinds of letters, and the two are formal letters and informal letters. Now, how do you define formal letters and informal letters? Now, formal letters are those letters which are written to offices for official purposes. They are called formal letters. Like, we write job applications, seeking for job in any of the companies, organizations. We write leave applications. We write letters to the Panchayat Pradhan. We write letters to the police station for any official matters. We write letters to the post master uh, in the post office. We write letters to the bank manager in the banks. So these kinds of letters are called formal letters, because we write these to offices for official purposes. That's why they are called formal letters. So formal letters are written in official tone. It is written in an official tone. We need to be very, very official when we sit to write formal letters. So more on this we'll again talk when we come to formal letters. Now we'll talk about informal letters. Informal letters are those letters which are written to parents, relatives, friends, or any acquaintance. Acquaintance means any known person who is known to you. When we write such letters to our known people, they are called informal letters. Since we know to whom are we writing the letters, either we write to the parents, relatives, friends, or any known person, so they are written in friendly tone. Thus, informal letters are also called friendly letters because they are written in a friendly tone. We are very, you can say, friendly in writing informal letters. So they are called informal letters. They are called friendly letters. So I hope you understood the difference between the two kinds of letters we have: formal letters, informal letters. First and foremost, what are letters? We understood a letter writing is a message. First of all, it is a message that can be handwritten or printed on paper, and it is usually sent to the recipient via mail or post in an envelope. This is what we call letter, and it is written conversation. It's a written conversation between two parties, as we already discussed. And I told you that there are many kinds of letters, but we generally practice two kinds of letters. They are formal letters and informal letters. So formal letters are official letters. They are written in the official pattern. So they are also called official letters. Whereas informal letters are written to or known people. So they are informal letters. They are also called friendly letters. They are written in the friendly tone. They are personal letters. Now, we talk about steps to write informal letters. This is very important. Steps to write informal letters. So what are the steps required to write informal letters? First and foremost, let me tell you, there are six steps to write an informal letter. They are: number one, sender's address; number two, date; number three, greetings or salutations; number four, body of a letter; number five, closing or ending; and number six, sender's first name. So these are the six steps we have for writing informal letters. Informal letters. So how many steps we have? We have 6 steps. Once again, because this is what you need to know, and according to it, you have to write your informal letter. So first and foremost, number one is sender's address. 2 is date. 3, greetings or salutations. 4, body of a letter. 5, closing or ending. And 6, sender's first name. So these are the 6 steps you have when we sit to write an informal letter or friendly letter. So now the next question comes: how are we placing these 6 steps on paper? Because this is very important. Now if you are little bit away from placing the 6 steps on the page, then you'll get very, very low marks. This is very, very important for you to understand. So try to see this. Now the next thing that we talk about is format or layout. We call it format of writing informal letter or layout of writing informal letter. That means how do we write informal letter on paper? This is what we are going to discuss. Now see, this is our page. Consider this is our page, right? First and foremost, what you need to do is, suppose this is your copy. what you need to do is first fold your paper equal. Now this is what you need to do. When you sit to write a letter, try to fold the paper into two equal halves. Now you get here and imaginary margin. This is a center margin, we call it center margin. Now here you do not need to draw the line or draw the margin, right? It is a guideline for you. This margin is a guideline for you to know how do we place the steps on the page. This is what you need to know. I hope you understood. Now, first and foremost, take a full-scale size paper wherever you sit to write a letter. Full-scale size paper or A4 size paper. This is what you must do when we sit to write letter or letters. Now see, this is the layout of informal letter. This is the format of informal letter. Now, this is the full-scale size paper. Left hand side, we already have company margin. If required, we can have right hand side margin too. And we have already known that we need to fold the paper into two equal half in order to create an imaginary margin. Now this imaginary margin that we have created of folding the paper into two half is a guideline for us where we should place our steps. This is very important. Now see, so top left hand side box. This is called box pattern of or letter writing. In your total English book, when you get it, you'll have the same format given there by the council. So we'll follow strictly the same format what is given here and write our letter in the same format. So see, on the top left hand side, make a box of 3-4 lines. I'm telling you, make a box of 3-4 lines, because this step number 1, which we have made a box on the top left hand corner, is step number 9. Is step number 1. Write 1 inside the box. And what is step number 1? Sender's address. The person who is writing a letter, his address must be mentioned on the top left hand side of the page. And remember, do not write your name in the beginning. Don't write your name. It should be only address with no name of the sender. The one who is writing the letter is the sender. His address or her address must be given on the top left hand side. The box, you'll have to make the box pattern in your copy as well, in your exercise note as well. So you will be clicked and given okay the same, and do copy in your exercise note before you sit to write later. Make a box pattern first, write everything what is given here. So first is step number 1, that is your sender's address, which is a box of 3-4 lines, right? Why I'm telling you 3-4 lines, because you need to have detail of the address given. Detail of the address must be given here, right? And do not abbreviate anything. Don't shorten anything, right? Because you need to specify the exact address. It should be full and clear. That is what is needed in step number 1. And this is the modern pattern of what we are doing. In the old pattern, traditional pattern, we used to write this on the right hand side. Now this right hand side pattern is outdated. Forget about it, right? Now come back to the modern pattern of writing the letter. Step number 1 is on the left hand side, which is a box of 3-4 lines, you see, right? And this is written slightly away from the margin, slightly away. I'm telling you, slightly away from the margin. Do not touch the margin, right? Move little bit towards your right hand side while writing or while starting your address. This is step number 1. Now leave one line. One line leaving is a must. after every step that you write in a letter, you must have one line gap, right? So after step number 1, we move on to step number 2. Now what is step number 2? Step number 2 is date. We write date just below sender's address, and date, follow the official pattern of writing the date. Do not use uh, the oblique pattern of writing the date. Do not use the dot pattern of writing the date. Write the official date. See? So date must be specified very correctly. There are two patterns of writing the dates. One is either you can start with the number and then month and then the year, or you can start with the month and then date and then year. These are the two ways of writing the dates. One, again see, start with the date and then write the month and then year, or write the month, name of the month, and then write the date and then write year. Mind you, if you are writing the longer month, then you can shorten the month, like January, Jan dot, you can make it J capital because they are all proper noun. Every month should begin in capitals. This is all known to us. And if it is a shorter month, then you can write the full. Write May, M-A-Y, you write it full. Longer month you can abbreviate if you are writing the month in the middle. First day, then month, then year. But when you write year, year should not be shortened. There should not be apostrophe used. It should be full, 2020, right? And after you have written the date, do not put any punctuation. No punctuation after year, right? This is very, very important because everything in your letter will be checked very strictly. That is why be very appropriate when we sit to write letter. So first date and then month and then year. If it is longer month like December, you can abbreviate DEC dot, right? Or if it is a shorter month, then write full spelling of the month and then year. But if you are writing the month first and date later, right, then you are bound to write the full spelling of the month. You cannot shorten the month. If it is December, write the full spelling of December and then write date, put comma, then 2020 is the year, right? So you cannot shorten the name of the month if you are beginning with the month first. Okay, so write the full spelling of the month and then date and then comma, then year. Write the full spelling or full year, right? This is what you must do in later. So after step number 1, we have left one line, and just below it we have written step number 2, that is date, and then leave one line and then write step number 3. Step number 3 is greetings or salutations. We call it greetings or salutations. We generally start like dearest parents, comma, or my dear parents, comma, right? If you're writing to a friend, my dear, name of your friend. Do not write the word friend, write the name of the friend because it's already known to whom you are writing. And in your friend circles, we are known each other by our names, so we generally call the name. That's why write name, don't write the word friend. My dear Sonu, my dear Anjali, whatever be the name that you write, right? Then put a comma. This is what we must do. And do not write the greetings or salutation in 2 or 3 lines. This is incorrect. This is wrong. Don't write your salutation in more than 1 line. It should be written in 1 line, single line. My dear Anjali, dearest parents, comma. It should be written in 1 line, single line. After that, put a comma. Then comes your next step. When you have finished your greetings or salutation, now next step, when you write, don't write in the old pattern. In the old pattern, What was it? In the traditional pattern, what was it? That after you have finished your salutation or greetings, there was a comma. Just below the comma, the line used to start, the paragraph used to start, right? But now that is gone. This pattern is outdated. So you have to leave one line. Leaving one line is a must, as I already told. Come to left hand side in the same margin where you have started your address, your date, and then salutation. Same line you must carry. Leave one line, there must be one line gap. Then you start writing your letter. Carry on the lines. The first paragraph of your letter is called introductory paragraph. We are introducing him, right, in this first paragraph. So normally the first paragraph is a small paragraph. We call it introductory paragraph. But look at the start. Do not write in the old pattern. Write your letter or start your letter from the corner, left hand corner, but in the same margin that you have started all other three other steps. Leave one line and then carry on. You ended your first paragraph, then leave one line and go for the next paragraph. Now, the next paragraph in the old pattern used to begin in the same, just after you have finished the comma or full stop, then the line used to begin here. But now that is an outdated pattern. Write in the same margin, leaving one line, write in the same margin, right? The second paragraph is the content paragraph, is the matter paragraph. Here we write the matter, here we write the content, the reason why we write the letter. This is a bigger paragraph. Since we are writing the matter here, so we generally have a bigger paragraph written in it, right? Now when you finish the second paragraph, then again leave one line for the next paragraph and again start in the same margin. See here, margin should not go here and there. It should all follow in the same margin. So third paragraph starts. Whatever be the matter you require to write, you continue. Now if you require fourth paragraph, give one line gap and then write in the same margin, the fourth paragraph. The last paragraph of your letter is called the concluding paragraph. Introductory paragraph, subject paragraph or matter paragraph, content paragraph, and then concluding paragraph, because here we conclude our letter, right? This is what we do, right? Now this is step number 4. We call the body of letter. The body of letter must have minimum 3 paragraphs. How many paragraphs? 3. Remember, minimum 3 paragraphs must be there. A letter should not be written in less than 3 paragraphs. It should have 3 minimum paragraphs. 2 more than 3, right? That is accepted. But don't write your body in less than 3 paragraphs. It should be always 3 paragraphs and more. This is what you must remember. And then after you finish the body, step number 4, then leave one line and then come to step number 5. Now what is step number 5? Step number 5 is closing or ending. Here we write the closing or ending. Yours sincerely, yours lovingly, yours affectionately, yours, mind you, yours. When you write yours, there should not be apostrophe. Y capital, YOURS, continuous, right? There should not be an apostrophe. Sincerely, lovingly, affectionately, put a comma, right? That is what you must do, right? The second word, whatever you write, sincerely, take an example, sincerely, lovingly, sincerely S small letter, lovingly L small letter, right? Don't capitalize, followed by a comma, right? And then next again leave one line and write sender's first name, sender's first name, right? But don't write your surname, don't write your title, right? Suppose if you are the Kiran Kumar Jaiswal, just write Kiran, right? Kumar Jaiswal not needed, because we are writing a friendly letter, we are writing a personal letter, we are writing an informal letter, so we don't require to have the full name given here, right? So don't write the name of the friend in the salutation and don't write your full name in your conclusion, right? So how do you conclude? Here write your first name only, right? And after you have written your name, don't put any punctuation, no full stop, nothing, right? So this is your informal letter pattern, the format or layout of writing informal letter or friendly letter. So this is called the box pattern. What you have done, I want you to make the box pattern in your exercise note before we write any question, any letter. You must make a box pattern first, try to understand how do we write, right? And always remember, letter, if possible, must begin on a page and end on the same page. You should not have a torn over page, right? Remember that, right? That's why we choose full skip size paper or A4 size paper to write letters, right? Because it should have a start, it should have an ending on the same page. You should not have the turnover page. You should look at one glance, right? So from the start to the end. So this is our informal letter pattern. So hope you understood what is letter and how many kinds of letters are there. And today we discussed informal letter. What are the steps to write the informal letters, and what is the format or layout of writing the informal letter. So this is the box pattern of your informal letter. So hope this is understood. So the same thing you will be clicked and given. You copy this in your exercise note, right? And very important thing is still left with us, formal letter, right? The steps and then the format. How do we write? We'll talk about this in our next online class. So hope this is understood to you, right? Stick to the format because this is very important. Your letter is first seen. Uh, your format, if your format is correct, then it is readable, then the marks will be given, otherwise your letter will be rejected. This is what you must remember. So this is what is today's online class. Hope you have understood. You go through it. If you have any doubts, you can again ask. Thank you very much.